You know, it's summer, so my family and I wanted to get outside and go bike riding, which of course means I had to figure out how to protect our bikes. I wanted to share with you what I learned about the 3 ways to make sure your bike doesn't get stolen and then show you this lock and why I chose it. After watching more than like 20 YouTube videos, not joking, and reading a bunch of different posts, I settled on this is the Titanker bike chain lock, which my son thought was hysterical because he called it the this anchor. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be titanium anchor pushed together, but he had a good laugh. All the videos I was watching and blog posts, there was so much concern about so many of these other companies having locks that could all be opened. So say you have 2 of these, right? So say that I order this and somebody else has this Titanker, that they could just walk up and unlock mine with a key. I'm gonna show you guys that here in a minute, but let me go through the product specifics real quick. In college, my then boyfriend bought me a Cannondale because we used to love mountain biking, and when I was riding around campus one day, I put like a cable chain and so never again, which is why I decided I have to understand what lock to buy and why. Now, there are several kinds of locks you can purchase. I purchased this with it, which is a bike chain lock, which means that there is actual chain link inside of this sleeve. It came in the box like this, pretty simple packaging, and I bought 3 because we have 3 bikes. So of course, price was a factor. So I bought the black 8mm chain. How long it is, how big, it's about 2.5 pounds. I mean, it is heavy, but it is not like heavy to the point where you wouldn't want to carry it. You could just wrap it around the frame, the mid bar on your bike, and it stayed perfectly fine. Okay, so on the more mountain bike ones, it goes like just wrap it through and then up and around. But on this, it wouldn't go, so I just wrapped it back here, and that's it. It's supposed to be drill, saw, cut resistant, all the things. I mean, guys, truth be told, if somebody really wants your bike, they're gonna take it. This is to avoid crimes of opportunity and people who maybe don't know what they're doing. We used these actually just the other day when we went for our bike ride, locked them up, we had no problem, went inside, ate lunch. So I feel comfortable with that. This one is about 3.3 feet, 2.5 pounds. They did have it in a couple other colors, and then link density like 6, 8, and 10mm. I felt like 8 was substantial. The links are about 2 inches long a piece, and I do like this cover because it makes it waterproof or more water resistant, and it doesn't scratch your bike. That's the most important thing. Now, I will say, this is just a personal preference. I would prefer a company that made these but did not put their logo all the way down the side, because if they only manufacture so many keys theory is correct, why do I want to broadcast to the world? And by the way, guys, they all do it. It isn't just Titanker. I mean, every single company had their name emblazoned down the side, and that's to market their bike chain to other people, but that's great. But for protection of customers, I would prefer that this was an all black sleeve, which I might ultimately just take some black fabric paint and black this out, because I don't want to broadcast to a would-be criminal, hey, if you happen to have a selection of Titanker keys or any other brand, then walk up and unlock it. I do have, and I'll put a picture of it right here. It's called fabric paint, and it's by Speedball. It's black, and you can just go right over this. So I'm pretty sure I will ultimately do that for that reason. This all depends on like, where are you locking your bike up? How much is your bike worth, etc., etc. We have very mid-level bikes that we're not locking up in super high crime areas. So for that reason, I'm just gonna use the 1 lock per bike. The most expensive part of your bike is your frame. So that's the number 1 thing you want, is that going across that frame. And then so frame, then back tire, then front tire. So if you have multiple locks, you would want to lock it up in that order. And also your bike seat, which apparently people steal, which is crazy to me. So what we did is I just went around the frame and through the back tire and then hooked it to, there was an actual bike stand there. That was number 1. Number 2 that I learned is to make sure that the lock is facing down like this, because of course that makes it so much more obvious that someone is trying to pick it or break it if they have to get up under the bike, right? So as opposed to me securing the lock like this, which would make it very easy for them to just walk up, and if they were good at picking locks, to pick it. So make sure that it is down like this. And if possible, if you're securing it where there's like a sidewalk here and a street here, turn the lock towards the street, okay? Because you're not really gonna stand in traffic to be trying to jimmy a lock open. And obviously, if it's an option, you wanna lock it up in a busy area. Don't put it on a side street where someone's gonna have access to, be cutting it for extended periods of time. Put it where there's high traffic, potentially a camera looking at it. And one of the other things I learned is you don't ever want the lock to be like sort of near the ground or where it could be pulled down to the ground, because obviously it's easier to stabilize it to cut it if it's on the ground. So make sure that it's, you know, like turned down and up, like off the ground where it can't be pushed down towards the ground. And another reason why I chose the chain link is apparently it's harder to cut than like the standard, you know, U-bar or D-bar locks, which it's just one thing and you just steady so you can just cut right through it. This is harder to cut through because it's harder to stabilize a chain link because it's not, because it moves, guys. The last thing that I would say is that you want to make sure that you have it nice and secure, right? You don't want to have a bunch of wiggle room. Like, so when you lock this thing up, make sure that it is locked up as tight as possible. So there's very little wiggle room, because again, that just makes it more difficult for them to maneuver the lock into a position that it would make it easier for them to cut or pick or, you know. If you are a family that bikes, this tool by Toolitin, we've had this for several years. This is fantastic, guys. This is the bike pump to have. So I'll link it down below, but this thing is amazing. It has like different attachment heads right there that are stored on board. And then what I love about this one is it has like the little foot pedal, so you can just stand here and then. The moment of truth that we've all been waiting for. Every key, unlock every lock. And I will tell you, I was concerned about that, which is another reason that I was excited that I had to have 3. So you will notice that these are color coded. This does not come with it, by the way. This is just, each lock comes with 2 keys, okay? We just put them on a separate key. First key, I don't know, because I just took these off the bikes to do this review, but I just want to show you that none of these keys unlock the other lock. So I'll have to find which one it unlocks. Okay, so you see it is in there and I am turning, it is not unlocking, okay? So this covers that so that water doesn't get in there, all right? And which one was I just working with? This one. All right, so this is not, the one with no color on it is my son's, and that is not his, obviously. So come to this one, and it is not that one either. There you go. So as you can see, and I'm gonna do it twice more so you can see it wasn't just a fluke. And by the way, the key will not come out if this is not locked. So you just push this in to lock it, and then the key comes out. All right, so we'll take him out of play. All right, and then we'll use this one. So this is my daughter's. That is not hers. That's hers. But just to show you, oh, see, I can't take the key out unless it's closed. Her key will not open his. So this is mine. And you see, pops right out. Oh. Okay, but my key, yellow, okay, as you can see, will not open any of the other keys. That is an important distinction. I did see a lot of that about a lot of other companies, so I can show you, and you just saw me do it right here, that this particular brand, I can tell you that's not the case. Each key only opens the one lock. So now that you guys know the ways to protect your bike, to lock it up, and what I personally recommend so that your bike doesn't get stolen, protect your bike. Go grab a few of these and get outside this summer, get some exercise, get the kids off the electronics, and make some memories. And go check out their 4-color collection and see why this is Amazon's choice. I mean, it was my choice too after much research, but it is Amazon's choice, and 1,000 people buy this every single month. And this is why. Amazing product, affordable price point. I'm here for it all day. I hope you guys found that helpful. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.